Hey everyone, this is James Wilson with MTB Strength Training Systems and BikeJames.com, and today I wanted to talk about leverage-based training and why it's so important for you to have it in your program. Leverage-based loading is something that I was introduced to by a guy named Michel Delacourt, who's a Canadian strength coach. He's the guy behind the Viper training tool and training system, and I was at a presentation that he was doing, and it was one of those aha moments, right? Every once in a while you hear something that just clicks and it brings a whole bunch of other things together. And he started talking about leverage-based loading and leverage-based strength. And the way that he explained it is that leverage-based strength is like farm boy strength. And compression-based strength, which is the opposite side of this spectrum, is like gym strength. And we've all heard the old, story or analogy, whatever, who would win in a fight, farm boy or gym boy. And, farm boy, for whatever reason, right, is known to be stronger and more athletic. Like if you're going to start a football team or any team, you would want a bunch of farm boys, not a bunch of dudes who just spent all their time in the gym lifting. And they tell this story that looks like Tarzan performs like Jane. There's all sorts of reasons we throw this out there, but I'd never heard anyone actually explain what is the reason for that. What is it that farm boy is doing that is so much more effective than what gym boy is doing? I want some of that, right? And so the way that he was explaining it is it's this leverage-based loading. The leverage-based loading is when you have something that is either offset, right? So it's not perfectly loaded on each side. The load will be out away from you as opposed to in close towards you. It'll be some odd shaped or difficult to get a handle on. But basically there's a much higher stability element when it comes to leverage-based loading. And the opposite side of that is compression-based loading. So things that are in close, they're evenly loaded, and this is less about stability and just more about your ability to create muscular tension and overcome that compressive force that the load and gravity is putting on you. And so these are two different things. Again, the way that he explained it is that the leverage-based loading actually targets something different in your body. It actually targets the fascia and increases the collagen, which increases your stability through your system. And the stability is super important. Again, you look at farm boy and you think about it, he's baling hay and shoveling stuff and carrying buckets and doing all these odd implements and things are out away from him and all this stuff, versus gym boy, he's doing squat, bench, and deadlift, but it's in close, it's evenly loaded, so it's more of a compressive element. So compressive-based strength has a place, but leverage-based loading is actually much more specific to athletics. And so that's why it's important for us to have leverage-based loading in our programs. It actually produces a different effect on the body than compressive-based loading does. And so the leverage-based loading, especially for us as mountain bikers, because we have a very high leverage based element in our sport. We do have some compressive elements, but there's definitely a high degree of leverage-based strength that you need. And so if you're not using training that in your program, then you're missing out. And so again, the easiest way to do that, this is one of the reasons I've become such a fan of tools like the steel mace. The steel mace allows you, this is actually a leverage-based training tool. It's designed to work on that leverage-based strength. So you can do the same movement pattern, but incorporate a tool like the steel mace, and it will deliver a different effect. It's not just, it's kind of the same thing. It's a completely different thing that a steel mace will do to you as compared to a compressive-based tool like dumbbells, kettlebells, and barbells. These tools are good, they have a place, but you need the leverage-based loading in your program as well. And so there's a high degree of wrist stability when using the steel mace that comes in. It's super important for us as riders. There's so many things that working with this training tool. Heavy Indian clubs is another great training tool. Things like 5, 10, 15, 20-pound Indian clubs. Those are great training tools for building this leverage-based strength as well. So anyways, just a way to kind of think about it. And again, for kind of a bigger insight into it, you can check out my video that I did on the 4 quadrants of tension. Go to BikeJames.com, you can do a search for that, and you'll find the video that I did on that and explains, again, how leverage-based loading and compression-based loading fits in with the speed of movement to create a paradigm, a better way of looking at how to create training programs based on the type of loading that you need for your sport. So again, as mountain bikers, we need this leverage-based loading. We need this farm boy strength. So getting stronger is important, but how you're getting stronger and the way that it's affecting the body is, just as important as making sure that you're doing, our good movement patterns. Push, pull, squat, hinge. These are great places to start. But if you're not looking at things like leverage versus compression-based loading, then you could be missing out on some results. So anyways, once again, you can check me out at bikejames.com, learn more about good training programs and stuff for mountain biking there, and I'll talk to everybody next time.